Is this on? Yeah, cool. Okay, I'm gonna adjust. Okay, thanks for having us. We're here to talk about Sixth Graders to the Library, which launched in 2025. We've got some photos throughout the presentation of sixth graders at the different branches. Feel free to enjoy their joy as we have. So there's a program overview up here. I won't read it to you. I know you can all do that yourselves. But the idea of this is expanding on the Third Graders to the Library program that we have worked with at the library for a long time. We want the middle schoolers to know that the library is a safe and welcoming place for them. They should be there. They belong at the library. And this is a field trip program that is designed to make sure they know that. So we're trying to get them familiar with library services, spaces, staff, so that they feel comfortable coming back to the library, hopefully, throughout the rest of their lives. Our formatting got a little funky here, so some of our bullet points are overlapped, but Third Graders to the Library has been going for 19 years, going strong, which is really great, so we wanted to expand that to some older kids. We looked at the middle school age, because that's when we can start to lose kids as they go to a new school, but we can also gain kids who maybe weren't here in third grade. We can get them if they've moved in from the military or otherwise. We can make sure they're familiar with the library. This is all made possible by the support of the foundation, which is fantastic. It's across the county at all of our different middle schools, and it makes sure that every kid leaves with that familiarity with the library and also a free book that they get to keep. It's not one that they have to return to the library, which is always kind of fun. And then it all looks a little different depending on the school and the capacity at the school level and the library level. So we'll talk a little bit about how it's gone at the schools that we've started with, and we are continuing to expand to other schools in the next year as well. This is also me. This is a little bit of feedback from Jem Seddon, who is our previous Bainbridge Island Teen Services librarian. She's now the Adult Services librarian at Little Boston, but she had some feedback from her community with the ones that she ran before she made that move. Okay. Thank you.
And on the screen, we have Casey, who is our Poulsbo teen librarian. They are planning to do theirs coming up in October of this year. So I'm Wayne. I work with the South Kitsap School District. Our school district is really spread out. So there are some schools that are over 20 miles away from the library. That does make it a bit of a hindrance to have all of them come. So we did open house nights as a part of the TTL format. So after hour events available for the sixth graders, and then I made individual trips to all of the schools and made classroom visits to teach them about the different resources that are available, as well as getting them set up with their student portal, signing into their library card. That way they have it all signed in, ready to go going forward anytime they need to do research, read books, anything like that. Looking ahead, going into 2026-7, I want to keep the individual school visits. I've had a lot of positive response from teachers on being able to use the resources that we have available once they've been signed in, and we're restructuring the open house nights to do a larger scale singular sixth grade TTL event in South County as a whole, so all three schools coming together.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I'm the Teen Services Librarian at the Sylvan Way branch. This year, I was able to get Fairview into the building. So I had reached out to the principal in the fall. He said February would be the best time, and he was able to take care of all of the buses, make sure the kids had their schedule, could be back in time for lunch. Fairview starts really early, so 7:25 in the morning. So it worked out well for them to be able to come while we were closed, so before we opened. And that gave it kind of a VIP feel for the students, which was fun. They got run of the whole building. And school leadership came with the students on each visit, which was great. It showed the buy-in from the school. So we had the principal or the assistant principal on each visit. We did 4 visits and about 60 students each time. And CK is one of the school districts where student ID numbers are not library accounts with us, and so we made library cards ahead of time. One student was so excited about it that his dad drove him to the library before the field trip so he could pick it up ahead of it. The rest of the kids got theirs right after the trip. So for next year, my goal is to get my second middle school, Mountain View, into our buildings. This May, so May 29th, Danielle and I are going to be going to them and staying in their school library, and each classroom is going to come to us for a combined TTL summer learning program visit. So yeah, next year, hopefully, once I've made those connections, we can get them into the Sylvan Way branch. And during the visits, we split up each group into two. So I would give them a Library 101 presentation, and then they would go to Danielle and to Ashley for a scavenger hunt. So it was great to have support from mobile services, and I'm going to hand it to Danielle to talk a little bit about that.
My name's Danielle Bogard, and I work as an associate with Mobile Services, and I got involved because Mobile Services has started providing, where we can, supplemental support to larger events and programs. So we did, after the kids were with Jacqueline, we did a scavenger hunt in the main space of the library, and as we pointed out, we were closed, so the kids got full run, and we did popsicle sticks, where the popsicle sticks would say things such as, find me a book about fish, find me a magazine, learn how to use the photocopier. And the kids would go out and find that and bring it back to us, and then get another popsicle stick and do it again. So this provided a way to learn about the space and learn about what we had to offer, and there was a lot of exploration. So after the scavenger hunt, we had free time where the kids just got to just do what they wanted within the space. And this was one of the comments that we overheard. And there were kids creating art at the dry erase board tables. There were kids playing pretend with the kitchen set, which is something we weren't expecting. There were kids playing chess. There were kids doing puzzles. I even found a couple of kids who had little notebooks with them, and they were making a list of titles for items that they wanted to check out in the future. We asked the kids what did they learn and if there was anything that they found unexpected about the day. And there was one student who voiced up that she had discovered that we have books about her culture, and that was incredibly touching to find out. And this was just something that I remembered because I heard, I don't even know who said this, this was just something that I suddenly heard get kind of like exclaimed through the library as they were like running around and discovering things. And so I feel like they really got to find out that this was a place they were welcome, and this was a place where they would get to be themselves. And, oh, sorry. Thank you. Do you have any questions for us?
Questions, board? So I have a question for you. You talked to the youth and you got a little bit of feedback. Were there any ideas that they said that they would like to see the library engage with them with in different ways?
So there weren't many, since I did school visits, they didn't come to us, so we had a little bit less of a fun, free structured thing, which definitely they voiced wanting more of a free structure. It was run more of a lesson where they came to the library and I was able to show them various resources. So that is something I'm hoping to integrate, is a more kind of whimsical free time aspect.
Well, Sylvan is a great space for a scavenger hunt. What else cool do you have in mind for the next school year?
Oh, you were saying, sorry, you said it. Do we have it in mind again first?
Well, that and what else might you have? Because the scavenger hunt is really cool for Sylvan in particular.
Yeah, I think it really worked out well. I think we could just do that again because it introduces the kids to the different spaces, but it also kind of shows the objective of the program is to make sure that the students feel that the staff are safe and the spaces are safe and that they're for them just as much as for adults as they head into middle school. And so I think the scavenger hunt, letting them like kind of run around and explore, hits that objective well. So I think we'll keep that going. I haven't heard specifically from my schools like specific things they want to see. They're just happy to be a part of it. So.
Excellent. Eric?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I'm curious if you had any more learnings about why middle schoolers had not been to the library before, whether it was lack of awareness, because it was interesting, the comments of like they actually have manga and it's actually chill tells me that maybe they had a perception of the library and therefore they didn't go. They were aware of it, but they thought it was something else. I'm curious what you might have heard about why somebody wouldn't go.
So I can't speak for all of the school districts. Whenever I was doing my visits, I would usually ask a question akin to, how many of you have been to a Kitsap Regional Library before? Usually about 70% would raise their hands. So that 30% that are new to the area, military or various things, I believe that might be a prime group that are saying things like that, because a lot of the ones who have already been would voice that they, oh, I remember we got to do X, Y, Z whenever they were in the library before. So there was already sort of a remembrance of what they've done prior.
Yeah, because this is like sort of the launch of sixth graders to the library. And like we said, the third graders have been going for almost 20 years. And so hopefully our hope is that most of them have been at least on that third grade field trip. But we do have a number of new kids, new families who may not have come. So I didn't hear anything specific, but that would be my guess as well.
The CK schools, we're still getting it rolling, figuring out what's going to work for them, but just in overhearing, because I'm down the hill from Central Kitsap Middle School at Silverdale, and I hear from kids who I know are there all the time. They're surprised about new things we have at the library, and I think part of that is just routine. Sometimes they're like, I'm just coming in to use the chairs. I'm going to sit here and wait for my mom to pick me up, and that is the only thing that I know about the library until it's not, until we have this opportunity for them to explore the space in a safe and comfortable way that is fun, that gives them an opportunity to share maybe with their friends or their family that way. And then sometimes we give them a lot of information all at once. Like if I go do a school visit, it's like, hey, here's so many things that the library has to offer. And so I think this is a really good touch point to say, let's remind you of some of that cool stuff that maybe you've forgotten since that third grade field trip, or you have only been in to hang out because it's raining outside, or those kind of things. So it's just another way to touch base with them and expand their idea of what the library can be for them.
And I'll just add, on all of that they said, I think that the scavenger hunt gave an opportunity to explore. And so when people come in and use something in a very specific way and use it in the way that they already knew how, they're not being put in a position where they're doing as much exploring. And so I think some of the kids discovered things that they didn't know before because of that safety of just exploring and going outside of your routine.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, really thank you for the work you do, and for the board, a little more context, particularly around that question about, middle schoolers and their library use habits. I mean, this whole program is really born out of the idea that there are corollaries for third grade reading success and later success in school. And so that's why there's a lot of, across the country, entry points for third graders. But more than that, if you worked in a library day to day, you sort of notice patterns of kids. Like, obviously, when kids are small, their parents are bringing them for story time. And then if you're not a library kid, and we know library kids, and because libraries are generally regarded as safe spaces, and so kids who don't have a place to go are often in the library after school. Those are library kids. They know about the library. They know about the resources. Then what tends to happen, the pattern is that if parents aren't bringing them for story time and they're in middle school, they're likely not interested in the library if they don't have to go. And so the reintroduction provides both a cool way to say, hey, here are new resources, let's get you back in the library, and then the next milestones are coming, 8th grade reading success, which is the next milestone of we need to be reading on time and reading at level. And so this program, I think it's critical, and it gives us the ability to pull those kids back in, give them a reorientation, because they probably had it when they were in third grade and forgot. And I think I want to applaud not only the managers who have been in those spaces as librarians, but the librarians and associates themselves who are taking on this task. Last thing I'll say is another anecdote. My wife was, as a para, was in that group and had nothing but good things to say about the level of engagement from staff and the level of comfortability that her students had in that space, and it was really impactful. So I did not even know she was going until that morning. She said, I'm going to your library, and I'm going for a field trip. But nevertheless, I applaud you for the work you do, and thank you for giving the board a really good view of what this program looks like. Thank you.